Consider yourself a bit of an eco-warrior. Done climate change at school? If you're like most young people, you'll really care about the environment and want everyone to be working together to reduce carbon emissions. You may even have taken things one step further and got mum walking to the local shops, or perhaps you've tried Veganuary. If this is the case, then you know all about those windy cows. So moving swiftly on. What's this got to do with my asthma, you might be asking? Well, managing your asthma by tackling that inflammation in your airways is actually an important part of saving the planet too. Good asthma care is sustainable asthma care, or to put it another way, what's best for your airways is also best for the planet. Not convinced? Well, let's check out some facts. The good news is that you can make a big difference for the better, so stick around. The NHS carbon footprint is the emissions that are directly controlled by the health service. Think buildings, energy, medicines and waste for starters. The good news is that there's a commitment to reach net zero emissions by 2040. But, spoiler alert, the propellants in some bog-standard metered dose inhalers, known as hydrofluoroclanes, or HFAs for short, are powerful greenhouse gases. In fact, they are 1,300 to 3,300 times more powerful than carbon dioxide, aka CO2, and they account for 4% of the total NHS carbon footprint. This increases to a whopping 15% of the carbon footprint in local GP surgeries. It's hardly surprising that the NHS is shifting to more environmentally friendly inhalers. Across Britain, 61.1 million inhalers are prescribed annually, with a total carbon footprint equivalent to 1,342,923,023 kilograms of carbon dioxide. The carbon footprint of 2 puffs of some metered dose inhalers is equivalent to around 500 grams of carbon dioxide, compared to 20 grams for 1 suck of a dry powder inhaler, or DPI. Not great news then that in 2021, pressurised metered dose inhalers accounted for 71.6% of all inhaler devices prescribed in England. For those who prefer an illustrated version, this graph compares the estimated carbon footprint of inhalers with everyday items. Food for thought? And while you're chewing this one over, why not consider the fact that the total climate impact of inhalers in the UK is the equivalent of 5.65 billion miles of car journeys every year, or put another way, 750,000 cars each being driven 7,500 miles per year. Thinking in terms of car journeys is also a great way to appreciate the environmental benefits of dry powder inhalers. So, what about my inhalers, you may be asking? Well, look no further. This graph shows the carbon footprint of some common inhalers. Have you found yours? So, what next? Well, this is no time to hang around waiting for 2040. After all, climate change is an emergency, but there are some major do's and don'ts when it comes to asthma and the environment. For starters, don't stop taking your preventer or reliever to save the planet. The greenest inhaler is the one that you use and use correctly. The key here is good asthma control. So whatever preventer device you have, keep taking it regularly until your next review. Believe it or not, it's the best way to minimise reliever use, reduce the polluting effect of your medication, and guess what? Help your airways, yourself, and the planet. Talk about a win-win situation. Let's take a closer look. As with most things on the asthma front, there is no better place to start than with SWAT, our 7 Wonderful Asthma tips, which are now even more wonderful when it comes to the environment. So firstly, keep your reliever with you. But remember that this is your rescue or emergency inhaler. If you're needing it regularly more than twice a week, you should see your doctor or nurse as soon as possible, as you may need some changes to your asthma medication to achieve better control. Did you know that in the UK, 83% of reliever inhaler prescriptions go to asthma patients overusing this medication? There's no need to be one of them. You can also help to reduce the 70% of carbon emissions from inhalers that come from relievers by checking the brand of your blue salbutamol metered dose inhaler. Salamol, the chunky one, is much more environmentally friendly than Ventolin, the tall one. So why not make sure that you receive a Salamol reliever in future? Your asthma nurse, doctor or pharmacist will be able to help. Next, take your preventer every day, even if you feel well. It may be possible to move on to a more environmentally friendly dry powder inhaler, depending on your asthma control and ability to use the new device. Why not ask your nurse or doctor about this at your next review? Also, use your asthma plan. This will help to keep you on track, ensure your asthma control is as good as possible, and help you to know what to do if your asthma is getting worse. Then, make sure your inhaler technique is good. Why not watch a demo video occasionally to make sure that you're getting the maximum benefit from your device? For easy access, check out the inhaler technique topic in the knowledge section of the website. And remember, always use a spacer if you've been prescribed a metered dose inhaler. There's no better way to keep your dose requirement to a minimum. It's also good to avoid your triggers where possible. If you're not sure about what your triggers are, why not take a look back at the information on triggers in the knowledge section of the website and have a chat to your asthma team. If avoiding a trigger is not possible, then take precautions and be prepared, but whatever you do, don't smoke and steer clear of secondary smoke where possible. Next, attend reviews. Apart from helping with your asthma control, these reviews are where you can really show off your green credentials and help save the planet. Why not check to see that you're on the most environmentally friendly inhalers possible? It may be a good time to change to a dry powder inhaler, but this will not necessarily be the case for everyone. So if a metered dose inhaler is still the best option for you, it might be possible to double the strength of your device, so you can take one double strength puff instead of two lower strength puffs through your spacer. This way you will halve your impact on the climate. Why not ask? Then, find out how it is possible to know whether an inhaler is empty. Recording the number of puffs used is one solution, but this is the 21st century, and a device with an integrated dose counter might just be an option. There's certainly no better way to ensure that a device is empty before discarding it and to dodge the empty inhaler scenario, which can really mess up your control. However, remember, even if you're an environmentally friendly dry powder device user, it is still important to ensure that you have a salbutamol pressurised metered dose inhaler and spacer available in case of life-threatening emergencies. Finally, tell others about your asthma. When it comes to the environment, friends and family are often able to give you a nudge to help you take your treatment correctly and avoid asthma triggers. Every little prompt helps when it comes to achieving good asthma control. Understanding and managing your asthma well is so important for your health and for the environment. You may also need to use services less, and again, this is good news for you and the environment, particularly because healthcare has a really high carbon footprint. And now we're into bonus tip territory. Fear not, just a few additional pointers to green up your act even further. Firstly, look after your inhalers and make sure you don't overorder. Secondly, return your used inhalers to a pharmacy for incineration. This prevents large amounts of plastic and metal going into landfill and the release of harmful HFA propellants into the environment. Did you know that if every inhaler user in the UK returned all their inhalers for 1 year, it would be like preventing the release of 512,330 tonnes of carbon dioxide? This is the same as a Volkswagen Golf car being driven around the world 88,606 times. Finally, think big. Why not campaign for better inhaler recycling or more environmentally friendly inhalers? You could even become a scientist and drive the change yourself.